First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are teaching this truth of sincerity. And a shout out to Yakian that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth in diverse places, in places that you wouldn't think that there'd be an Israelite camp, but there is. You know, I'm in one of them diverse places. You wouldn't think that there was any Hebrew Israelite camps. That is, here in Redding. Redding of all places, a place that's pretty much Edomite country. But we're in that north country, the Edomite country, you know. Scriptures often talk about they shall come from the north country, where Judah and Jerusalem shall be together. That north country is talking about America, Babylon the Great, because that's where we will come out of, you know. Proving that those Amalekites that call themselves Jews, where they originate, Khazaria. They originate out of the cliff rocks, you know. The scriptures never said that we would come from that. We would come from the north country, which is Babylon the Great. Though those Amalekites were behind the seizing and gathering of nations, the Confederacy, to put us into slavery, you know. So here we are, you know, another false flag, this time in Santa Fe school. More bullshit, you know, another Sandy hoax, you know, because they're trying to run the Sandy hoaxes to make you believe that, you know, guns are bad, you need to ban guns. Of course, we being Hebrew Israelites, we don't cling to our guns anyways, but, you know, this is just so they can get everybody to hand in their guns, you know, so that way martial law would be a lot easier to institute, because of course the whole city was put on lockdown over the so-called shooting, which, you know, the whole thing's staged. That the running is just them running around in circles and all that. They used to have truther videos showing you that the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was nothing more than a hoax, that these people were caught on camera 3 or 4 times. But any videos proving that it was a hoax, they've all been taken down. Kind of like the Osama is Obama videos. You know, because we know that there was no Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was a CIA hoax. Well, who do you think worked for the CIA before he all of a sudden became the Manchurian candidate? You know, nobody ever heard of this senator. But all of a sudden he becomes senator. He beats a Jake, you know, in the elections. All of a sudden he becomes a senator. Barack Hussein Obama. Where the fuck did he come from? What was he doing before that? Duh. Part of the government scams, the CIA hoax of Obama bin Laden. And proving that Barack Hussein Obama is Osama bin Laden, you found many bloopers. You found many, like Ted Kennedy, for instance. Well, why don't we just go ask Osama bin Laden? I mean, Osama Obama, you know? And he screwed up. He screwed up because he was trying to tell you something, you know? Because these devils can't lie, you know. Eventually they did get rid of Ted Kennedy, but, you know, there's so many more. Well, why don't we just go ask Osama bin Laden, you know. Because he is Osama bin Laden. That's why, more than anything else, that they tried to fool you into thinking that they just threw the body over the boat, you know. But yet you never seen actual death killings, you know. And the pictures of Osama bin Laden dead were all fucking photoshopped. Why? Because Osama is Obama. There were a lot of videos proving this. But all been taken down. All been washed up. You know, you can't find those videos anymore. Same thing with the Sandy hoax. You know, there's so many conspiracies. But not as in conspiracy theories, but conspiracy facts. 9/11 was an inside job. I mean, let's face the fact. Those Amalekites, those Khazarians that call themselves Jews, were the ones that pulled that off, along with the president and everything else, because they all have their secret society. The Illuminati. You know, that's one of the things they call them, the Skull and Bones. There's a whole bunch of divisions, but they're all run by these so-called Jews. You know, the cabal. You know, but we're the real illuminated ones. And we're going to have that angelic powers. You know, we are Lucifer. We are the illuminated ones that will be coming down with Yahushai. Lord willing, we are of those men, the elect. The 1/3 that will make it. That will be going up in them chariots and then coming down and judging this place, having spiritual powers. They will see who the real Illuminati is. You know, and we're going to cast down their society. It's going to be a lot more than just what we're prophesying, but we're prophesying that, telling you, foretelling you what's about to take place. Yahweh Shai is coming back. You know, but the rest of the world is fooling into thinking that it's a so-called white man, you know, by the name of Jesus Christ. But that's not his real name, because there is no J in the Hebrew. You know, and, you know, Esau, you know, just like words like Idumea and everything else, they change the words around, you know, putting in Greek words and stuff to try to hide the fact that Edomites are so-called white people. And they take out the words Edom and stuff, you know, so you can't really find it, but it's there, because that's what we do. That's all that we do, is research these scriptures, and we go back to the Hebrew, because we're trying to come back to our heritage and this understanding, which the Most High himself, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, had given us that. Yahweh Shai did not just give that to anybody. But like everything else, though, you have to endure to the end. You have to keep on proclaiming this until the end comes. So you got that false flag going on there. And isn't this interesting, though, that the Israeli state, you know, all of a sudden met with Putin, and then Bashar al-Assad and Putin had also met, you know, so, you know, and then all of a sudden a plane crashes in Cuba. Is that a coincidence or what? It's not a coincidence. Who fucks with planes? Who pulled off 9/11? Who likes to blame their enemies, the Ishmaelites, these Amalekites? So of course they caused this. They always sabotage planes. They probably want to blame the ISIS group, which is really Israeli secret intelligence services. So, you know, they're doing all these things because they are planning more strikes against Syria. There was an explosion heard over Hama in the province. This time it wasn't by the Israeli state. A factory had caught fire, but I wonder who set the fire there. You know what I mean? To blow up the factory. What, you don't think the Israeli state doesn't have Green Berets and shit like that? Of course they do. The United States is in the northern part of Syria. So, you know, we've been proclaiming this truth for some time, you know. Telling you of things that are to come and the things that are happening, you know. And the thing is, though, is that the time to do this is running short. But I'm going to read now out of Zechariah chapter 12, because this is very interesting, you know, the times that we are living in, you know. And it's going to be a burden. This is a burden to Esau, because he's being brought down by these scriptures. So he's doing everything he can, you know, to try to not make it come true, but it's coming true. Because this is the year of prophecy. 2018 has been declared the year of prophecy, and these prophecies are coming out. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, which stretcheth forth the heavens, that layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. You know, and that's Rakal Kadash. That is the Holy Spirit. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all people round about, and they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. You know, and that's talking about they shall be against us. You know, we the prophets, because they had already taken down Jerusalem and the areas of Judah, which is the northern and southern kingdom. They had already taken this, so they're in the land now. And in that day, I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces. And that's why there's no peace over there, you know. Constant murder and fuckery, you know. Because, of course, they fucked us out of land. Now they're getting fucked, you know, which goes for the goddamn Ishmaelites, too. The Palestinians are being slaughtered by the Edomites, the Amalekites. Through all the people of the earth be gathered together against it, you know. So pretty much all these nations are beginning to hate the whore, America, and really hating the Israeli state. Death to America, death to Israel. That is the Israeli state. You know, death to the Zionist entity. You know, that's what they're saying. And hey, we say that too. Death to you two-thirds, death to America, death to all these Amalekites, death to Esau, so-called white men. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. So there are those that are meant to receive this, and those that are not going to receive that, because they're blinded. They're blinded to this truth, because that's the reprobate that they've been turned over. They shall be turned over to a reprobate mind, so they're not going to get it. 2/3 of our people ain't going to get it. But the 1/3 is going to get it. That is the elect, and hopefully we're of that elect. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, and the Lord of hosts their God, which our God is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakal Kadash. We have the right order. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like a heart of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. So in other words, we're coming back to reclaim our heritage. We're coming back to reclaim this place, which right now is Ashdod. We're going to reclaim that land as our own, because we are the rightful owners of this, with Yahweh Shai. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, also shall save the tents of Judah first, and the glory of the house of David. And hopefully we're part of that house of David that's being built up. And the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, as the angel of the Lord before them. So again, we're going to reclaim this place, and pretty much these Edomites are going to be driven out of there. And it shall come to pass that in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that came against Jerusalem. So all of those that came against us, are going to be destroyed, And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, hopefully we're those people, the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me, whom they have pierced. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. And they shall mourn for him, as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, and as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. Yes, we're very bitter about what they did to Yahweh Shai, because we know why Yahweh Shai endured all that, so that way we could get in. He did that for the elect, the 1/3. Nobody else would ever suffer this kind of pain. And in that day there shall be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as in mourning of Hadadrimmon in the valley of Megiddon. And the land shall mourn, every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart. Again, what pain Yahweh Shai had to go through to save us, to save the elect, the 1/3. It doesn't pay to be a 2/3, But you see all that's coming out now, And remember, it was only 2 days ago that all this happened to Yahweh Shai, Well, of course we're going to mourn him, But we're also going to be grateful to him. The family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart. The family of Shimei and their wives apart. All the families that remain, every family apart and their wives apart. And that's just it, though, is that he's coming to restore kingdom, and we're going to have our days of mourning for what he had to endure for us, but we're going to be so grateful to him, And that's just it. He has given us the gift, the understanding of these scriptures. And, as other brothers have put it up there, it's time we be appreciative of that. Because we didn't have this knowledge before. We could have been a 2/3. So I hope this has been edifying like everything else. Keep on occupying. Keep on proclaiming. Until either death comes to take us away, or we get beamed up on them chariots. This famine will come soon. So try to gather up as much as you can while it's still here. Shalom.